Stugotz here. Did you know that every single episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is now on Spotify? Yes, the same app that has millions of songs now also has thousands of podcasts. On Spotify, you can listen to all your favorite shows and discover new ones. Just not too many. We get jealous very easily. To subscribe to our show, search for the Dan Le Batard Show, tap follow, and get every new episode delivered to you. Podcast on Spotify. They are streaming right now. And 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 now.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short anonymous survey. That's it. We swear again. That's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
What were the final numbers on JaVale McGee for that series? Because if that's not a testament for ruining basketball, they're too good. I don't know what is. They turned human punchline JaVale McGee, who looks like and may be one of those inflatable arm things in front of car dealerships that blow in the wind. I'm pretty sure he went 16 for 20 from the field. He's Wilt Chamberlain during the finals. That's how good that team that they can do. That's how good that team is that they can do that with Swaggy P and JaVale McGee. And Houston was so close to finishing them. Houston was so close for all of us laughing at Kevin Durant. If Trevor Ariza must have been haunted throughout that series, watching that entire series.
Yeah, Trevor Ariza went, 0 for 9 from 3, 0 for 12 from the field as their veteran championship leader with all the experience.
If Trevor Ariza has a normal game, not a great one.
Or if Chris Paul is healthy, right?
Right. I mean, they're right there, and we're talking about the Golden State Warriors much differently.
Iguodala, Livingston, Bell, McGee, and Looney combined 51 to 68. That's 75% from the field in the NBA Finals.
All right, hold on. Say that again. Because that's what it's like. That's what it's like to play with these four guys. They can take anybody and did. And say that again.
Iguodala, Livingston, Bell, McGee, Looney. 51 of 68, 75% from the field in the NBA Finals.
How about this? Did you see getting off the plane? Curry is holding the Larry O'Brien trophy. Kevin Durant is holding the other trophy, the Finals MVP trophy. Mm-hmm. And Draymond Green is holding a bag of hot Cheetos. That's them. And anyone, like those three guys right there could go on the court that way and they'd win with any two of us.
What was Clay doing?
Seemingly fine with not doing anything, which is on brand for Clay. Although I got to imagine, Clay's a really good player. I don't think in NBA history have you ever had a greater third best player. Doesn't he want some attention?
Well, the thing that he has done, the place that Clay has found is he gets to be James Worthy. He gets to be Byron Scott or Mo Cheeks. Like these guys who we know are very good, and when they're your third or fourth best guy, you're a team that's always going to be at the end.
But if they're your, best player, your team's not doing much.
Right.
I mean, Clay could go anywhere, and that team's not going to do that much.
But Worthy and Scott, I picture, and a lot of those guys are before my time, and I've only seen highlights of them, and I've just seen their numbers. To me, Clay's better than those guys.
Oh, he is better than. And so is that team. That's why I think they're. That's why I think they're the best team I've ever seen. Because you're absolutely right. Clay is better than those guys. James Worthy, I don't know if he's better than James Worthy. James Worthy's a Hall of Famer who's excellent and would have been a number one in a lot of places. But those are the kinds of teams I think of when I think of just overwhelming dominance. What do you do it with Chicago? It's Rodman, right? It's
like Horace Grant and guys like that.
But you know when when Chicago was 72 wins good? When their center was Bison Daly. where their sixth best player was basically JaVale McGee.
I'm also kind of forgetting the Miami Heat in this equation. Chris Bosh was a pretty good number 3. But with Klay, top 5 shooter, NBA history, elite defensive shooting guard. Elite. Not talked about enough. I imagine him, like, Worthy is a guy that you know his name because he's associated with championship teams. I got to figure Klay Thompson at some points could be like, hey, guys, nobody talks about me. As if he were on another team, he'd be getting the DeRozan MVP consideration.
Oh, you know what, though? That team's unusual now that they've tasted it, and Pat Riley has said that the problems don't come on your way to winning. They come after winning with stuff like that Klay Thompson thinks he's not getting enough credit. But what I've told you before is that team is uniquely unselfish. The idea that they went to go recruit Kevin Durant as, championship worthy already, that Kevin Durant gets there and is saying, look, man, I understand my role on this team. This isn't about ego. They have an unusually clear understanding of how hard that is.
To your point, did you see any of the David West comments? David West, by the way, is still a member of the Golden State Warriors.
He is?
You might not have seen him. He made a cameo appearance during the Rockets series. But he gave voice to some of the stuff that you're saying, that there was some drama behind the scenes and none of it came out. That stuff might actually undermine this whole dynasty.
I mean, Draymond's volatile, man. Like, that is a plutonium fuel that you are banking on, because he'll get into it with anybody. He's not afraid of anybody on his team. He tells everyone to bleep themselves because he knows he's doing all the janitorial work so that the 3 big guys can do the things that they do.
Yeah, West told ESPN that people would be shocked once they found out the full story, and Sean Livingston also gave voice to this.
Steve Kerr said they were a little bit tired of each other, and you understand that. But one of the things that makes them the best team I've ever seen is that guys like Klay are perfectly willing to be like, this game, I'll be the defensive guy and I'll give you big buckets in the fourth quarter. Draymond's perfectly willing to be like, you know what? I don't care if I go 1 for 6 from the field as long as I've got 15 rebounds and 12 assists. And it's just rare. It's unusual in the NBA to have guys that think like that.
It is.
A team full of them.
Yes, but I don't think Draymond's ever going to look to leave. I think Draymond's smart enough to know, hey, I can't do this by myself. I think Klay Thompson at some point might say, hey, I want the big dollars. I don't care. I'll score 30 a game and be in a team that's a 5 seed or something like that.
Well, what would have been best for the league is Kevin Durant opting out.
Yes.
And saying, okay, we proved our point. Now you guys see I'm pretty good too. But why would he leave? Why would he? He doesn't.
Challenge himself, maybe, perhaps? I don't know.
I mean, he already did that, though.
How? When? Where?
He did it for several years before getting to Golden State.
Oh.
They did go through 7 games. They had to win a Game 7 on the road against a really hostile crowd that first half, and Houston was up at halftime. That looked as dangerously close to them being eliminated with Kevin Durant as we've ever seen them.
But the thing that Ethan Strauss told us is so very so. By the end of a series, you've got nothing left against those guys. Houston had nothing left, and Cleveland wanted to go home. By the end of that, you're like, oh, enough. Klay Thompson hitting threes from the corner in Game 4, like in the fourth quarter. Get the bleep out of here, Klay. Leave us alone. Stop bothering us. Like, file some papers on them where they have the restraining orders and stuff. You need to subpoena Klay in the third. You got to serve him in the corner of the fourth period.
Is that what happens at breaking point? Teams just say to each other, enough.
You see it. Ya. Oye, ya. Basta. Vete a la mierda.
It's like you reach that point in an argument with your wife where you just say, enough, and you just cave in. And you retreat. You go home.
Isn't that the way that one works?
Yes.
It's where you're at the height of frustration. What did LeBron punch? What did he punch?
J.R. Smith.
What else?
I move is so soft from LeBron. Don't get us started on this soft move from
terrible.
LeBron. Jesus, man, you get swept. You give your handshakes, and then you show up with a soft cast? Come on now, man.
It's pretty weak. I'm with you.
Come on. And the whole thing is, I didn't want to let Golden State know about it because it would be targeting your hand.
Right.
Targeting your hand. Yeah, this guy, man. He would have been fine taking this series sweep. It would have been fine. Yeah. But that cast move, I was ready to blame that entire supporting cast. But you come out with a literal supporting cast on your hand as if that's the reason you only took 13 shots? Come on.
There's a way you pretend to break your hand, Stugotz. This is what you do.
Okay.
So you go to the press conference.
As if I don't know, but go ahead.
You go to the press conference, right? You're fine because you don't want people to know that you have a broken hand.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
No,
and then
he said it's practically broken hand. That was a thing. What do you go to WebMD?
Yeah.
It's either broken or it's not. Mike is right. No, practically there.
So you either after that put on the cast and have someone take a picture of you going to your car with it, or you hire paparazzi, you go on vacation to a beach somewhere where you can't hide it at all, and then you show up with the cast on. Yeah. Now, of course, you're doing things like normal. You don't look at the camera because then they're going to know you hired them. But you're there, and you have the cast as you're just frolicking with your family. And then people are like, wait a minute, where did that cast come from? And then he's the guy that broke his hand and didn't want to tell anyone. But this way, he's the guy that broke his hand and he told everybody. Now you're like, I don't know about that broken hand.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And hiring your own paparazzi for a supposed candid photo, that is absolutely the way to go with this whole thing. That should have been the move. It seems as though I'm a little worried about how this offseason is going to go for LeBron because he's clearly already getting bad advice because that would have been the way to go.
The most aggressive handshakes I've ever seen after this game. Did you see these videos, Stugotz, of these handshakes he was doing after the game?
I sure did. Before, as he was exiting the court, he didn't shake hands after the series. He shook hands as he was leaving the court for the final. Yes, they were very firm
very
handshakes.
detailed, very firm.
Yes, looked like they hurt. Yes.
All the histrionics and all these complicated synchronized handshakes that you couldn't do you couldn't do with an ingrown fingernail, let alone a broken hand or a practically broken hand.
I'm not sure he didn't break his hand shaking hands after the game.
Yes. More likely.
The best theory posed so far.
Yes.
At what point was he ever even favoring these things? Seriously. If he ever tweaks an ankle or he goes down the floor, like he'll give that like he never favored the hand at any point in any of these games because that's a thing. Like he could have just been tugging on his shorts or massaging the hand on the bench, and we would have been like, oh, something's going on with LeBron, and he could have been like, no, nothing's wrong with my hand, nothing's wrong with my hand, and it would have come off tough. But there was no sign at any point that there was something wrong with his hand.
None.
He should have absolutely hired paparazzi. Yeah. That's the way to go with this whole thing.
Wait, so you guys are saying you want the first sign of a cast that is made public is him on a banana boat with Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, like stuff like that? Is that what we're saying? No.
You can't go in the ocean with a broken hand. So then you know.
No, you
wait
can't
a minute.
even
This
get
is
like.
No, I think you can. You can put something over the cast.
But you need the first pictures. You need a clear sign of this cast. So he needs to be like on the beach in shorts, doing something, playing frisbee or something. But with the other hand, he's throwing it with his left hand because he can't use his right hand because it's broken, obviously.
Yeah, the way that Tom Brady was sort of disguising his hands and going all sorts of creative routes. That's a pro. That's a pro that doesn't make excuses. Exactly. That's a pro that will save face in the event of a sweep. This LeBron thing, I had all the
Tom
respect.
Brady would never get swept.
Never
get swept.
Never get swept. I had so much respect for LeBron, even in defeat. And I lost it all to the point where I'm not even sure I want him to come to Miami.
Whoa!
What?
Wow. I'm not even sure if he's going to pull this act.
Wow. And did Windhorst learn of this after Game 4, or was he sitting on this?
It seems like it was a secret that he knew.
It seems as though, he was like guarding a national security threat. Yeah. And he couldn't reveal this until afterwards. Guys, you're not going to believe this. And it was him and Dave McMenamin. Yeah. So, okay, this was known in the Cavs circles. We're going to have Brian Windhorst on later today. I want to get down to the bottom of what's going on with this hand thing.
Are you guys going to ask him about this? What you're accusing him of? I mean...
It's awfully convenient, is it not, Stugotz?
I'm with you. I'm wondering, am I asking these questions or are you guys going to ask these questions?
No, we come up with all the kooky theories and you be the face of the ridiculous stuff.
All right,
we don't like being held accountable for anything.
Okay, I got it. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, Stugotz, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Don Le Batard.
Billy, what is your top 5 people you want to see wake up in the morning because you want to see what they look like?
In no particular order.
No, they have to be in a particular order.
All right, fine. In particular order.
Number 5, Billy.
Stugotz.
Mel Kiper Jr.
Number 4, Billy.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Number 3, Billy.
Anderson Cooper.
Number 2, Billy.
John Travolta.
That'd be great.
Creepy. That thing he wears on his head is gonna crawl out of the closet onto his head. And the number 1 person that you want to see in the morning is
Beyonce. I want to know if she woke up like this.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Join us for Dan's Father's Day Fiesta Thursday. Fogo de Chao in Miami Beach. You'll get to meet Dan, Billy, new fathers Roy and Chris, along with other ticket personalities. Just register at theticketmiami.com for a chance for you and a guest to enjoy lunch and a fully loaded swag bag. You have until before midnight tomorrow to register. Tomorrow, midnight. Get it done. It's Dan's Father's Day Fiesta at Fogo de Chao from your friends at 790, the ticket.
Just so you know, my father's boycotting it, so this is not a Father's Day special with my father. He's mad at 790, says he will never do anything for 790 again. I haven't been able to dissuade him of this in an entire year. But Greg Cody will be there, I will be there, and Greg Cody's son will be there. So they will. There will be a Father's Day extravaganza. Billy will also be there. Billy, you can bring your father if you want.
I was going to say, way to sell it, but you saved it with Greg Cody.
And Roy's going to be there, too.
I can't help it. My father refuses to do anything. So anyways, Fogo de Chao, tell the people where they could go again, Stugotz, specifically to sign up for this because time's running out.
You can register at theticketmiami.com for a chance for you and a guest to enjoy. You have to do it by tomorrow night at midnight, okay? Theticketmiami.com.
Time to traverse the royal splendor of His Majesty's most noble kingdom. Here now is your sovereign supreme royal highness, King Roy.
All hail! His Majesty King Roy will speak now. Hail!
I am exhausted.
What? Roy.
What?
Roy.
What?
You're King Roy. You got to do the accent.
No, I don't.
We talked about the accent.
The accent, Roy.
You have to do the accent, the royal accent that Chris Cody did.
We are not doing the accents, all right? You guys can do it if you want to, but I'm not going to do the accent.
Your royal subjects would like to do the accents like we all discussed and have fun and
King
be married.
Roy.
King Roy, all hail!
Silence!
Ah!
Ooh, silence, nice.
As I was saying, I am exhausted.
Why, King Roy?
Tell us, please.
Last week was a very long week. It was a long week for all of us. Wednesday, we did the simulcast for Game 3 of the finals. You saw how that went. It was went pretty well, right?
Well,
All right.
Your Highness.
On all the gizmos.
And all the gizmos, and all the whatchamacallits. I myself had to work an event at the Fillmore. It's called Boot Conference, and I had to run audio for that. And
Sounds amazing, Your Highness.
thank you.
Sounds below you, King Roy.
Thank you. And it was just a long week. And this weekend wasn't exactly the best for me either. And I borrowed a room at the Clevelander, right? And I was locked out of the room.
Your royal quarters?
Yes, my royal quarters. My throne was in there and everything. I was locked.
Tell us more.
I was locked out of the room. When I went back to the hotel room on Saturday, they said, and I was with Claire and my daughter Claire and
The princess.
yes, the princess, the princess. And the hotel said it was 21 and over, so Claire couldn't stay there. It was 1:00 in the morning. I had just gotten back from the Fillmore, and they threw us out.
Did they know you
basically
were
threw
the
us
king?
out. No, they did not know that I was the king, Billy. So I had to drive all of us back home. All the way up to
carriage?
Oh, in my
royal carriage, King
Yes,
Roy,
in my royal
with
carriage.
Princess Claire and Queen. What is it, Stugotz? Queen who?
Elizabeth?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, that works technically. technically, I saw what you did there.
No, that is not her name.
Why was your baby awake at 1 a.m, King Roy?
Well, she was asleep despite all the noise that was happening on South Beach. Like, I was thinking about the safety of my wife and daughter and the fact that I had to take them home, and then 2 hours later I had to get right back up to go back down to the film.
How honorable of you, Lord Roy.
Thank you. Thank you. Court Jester Michael. Thank you.
I thought I was a knight of the round table. Jester is really more of a Chris Coty thing.
Ah, okay. You are a knight of the mountain.
I am the jester! No one pushes around King Roy.
All right, let's change subjects, all right? All right, Alex.
Do as you wish, Your Highness.
We are your subjects, King Roy.
All right, hold my ears. Stop it. Silence! Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, what a weekend.
Oh, boy, he is...
the Tsar of Prussia.
Getting lit up, man. I'm telling you right now. He took the Stanley Cup to the Nationals game, got drunk at the Nationals game, drunkenly sang the national anthem at the Nationals game.
With the finest of ales.
The finest of ales. They inverted him, like, horizontally to drink out of the cup at the Nationals game. It was crazy.
An ale stand.
Yes, he was playing in the fountain.
Half naked in the fountain.
Yes.
The royal fountain.
The moat, if you will.
The And then he went back to his hotel or whatever and slept with it. It was a magical day for him.
Wait a second, he slept?
Yes, he slept.
He slept with the cup?
There was photo evidence of him sleeping with the cup.
Where does he even put it?
Go on.
Right on his bed.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh! Okay. All right, then. All right. What would you guys do with the Stanley Cup if you had a day with it?
Oh. I would eat ice cream out of it. Whatever you commanded me to, King Roy.
What would you do, Knight Michael?
You know when you make a birthday cake and you stir up all the cake batter within the bowl?
Oh.
And then the best part is licking all the cake batter, which is always being told that it's bad for you, right? Salmonella.
Yeah.
But you eat it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the best because you take your finger and you rub it around the entire bowl.
Yes.
That's what I would do with Lord Stanley.
Live dangerously.
That sounds delicious.
Can you explain to me this segment, how it went from you being locked out of your room, King Roy, to you giving us a Ovechkin update? Sorry.
This is the King segment.
Thank you. Thank you.
The king discusses whatever he wants to discuss. That's why it's called Roy's Realm. Sorry for interrupting, Your Highness.
No problem, Knight Michael.
I'm sorry, too.
Silence! The king speaks now.
Whoa.
On Wednesday, we were talking about how that three-pointer that basically won the championship for the Warriors from KD didn't count, according to Stugotz.
In his personal record.
In his personal records, and his personal record scroll. Do you believe that his MVP trophy counts there, Stugotz?
I do not. No. Nothing counts.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing at all.
Where is your accent?
Your accent.
Hell out of here.
Use your Buscemi accent.
Do something other than...
Lord Roy, that trophy does not count in my personal record book.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
It's
Nothing
King Roy.
he has
It's not
done,
Lord
King
Roy.
Roy. Well, Lord King.
Peasant.
I feel like Lord is perfectly acceptable for a king. Am I wrong, King Roy?
Yeah, no. No, that's not acceptable for a king. It's actually king.
Oh, then I apologize.
You will address your king as king.
King Roy, in my personal record scroll, Kevin Durant, anything he has done with the Golden State Warriors is not in that scroll. I did not take my feathered pen and write anything in my scroll.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
The king approves.
The king approves,
Wow.
and so does his royal subjects.
Very good.
The audience doesn't seem to, though. You want me to read some of what the...
Quiet!
This is the dumbest segment in show history.
Don't doubt yourself, King Roy.
No, it is. It is, quite frankly, the
You are
worst
such
segment
a
in show history.
sovereign and wonderful leader.
You're so humble, King Roy.
Somebody writes in, this is Gronk Family Feud level.
Silence, peasants.
This is why we did this in the local hour, so nobody would... This doesn't count, just
We
like
put
Katie's
our best
MVP.
stuff in the local hour.
Texter writes,
No, apparently not.
Texter writes in, this is awful. Holy bleep, I love Roy, but this is the worst radio in history. What did I miss? What is this?
Silence!
What the hell is a texter?
This segment sucks. Pit of misery, dilly dilly.
Yes.
Roy,
The
be
US
quiet.
will send you to the
What the hell is happening?
I don't know what's happening anymore. I was set up to fail.
Your Highness, would you like me to fetch the dragon?
Get the dragon.
Get the dragon.
I shall get the dragon.
Yes, get the dragon.
This segment is very annoying. Big fan of the show, but this is terrible. What a flaming doo-doo fire.
You should see the dragon's doo-doo fire.
Oh, my God.
What is next?
Don't let them shake you, Roy.
Compose yourself, King Roy.
I mean, I knew going into this was going to be a complete failure. I absolutely knew.
I actually think it's working.
Don't get dissuaded by don't get dissuaded by these.
Silence!
Your first topic was I'm tired.
Perhaps that's why.
Yeah, that's exactly why. I'm exhausted.
Perhaps maybe go to the best of topics.
I don't have any. Night,
That's
Michael.
it?
These topics are awful.
Maybe we can debate something from pop culture.
All right.
Something relatable.
Did you let the audience defeat you?
Silence!
No, I let myself defeat myself. All right. You guys watch Westworld or anything?
I watch it some, my lord.
What is that?
That is a HBO show. Night Billy. Lord Billy. Or whoever. Lord Billy. That is a HBO show. I saw it for the first time, and I'm completely confused. I saw it last night.
Did you just jump in on one episode in the second season, or did you start from the beginning?
No, I watched the episode that aired on Sunday.
Well, that
Sunday.
makes no sense.
I don't know. It just happened to be on after last week tonight, and I watched it. And
You have to watch episode 1. I can understand how that show shall be confusing. I shall write the writers and make sure they adjust the show accordingly.
Why didn't the performance begin from the beginning for you, King Roy?
Thank you, Night Michael. I don't know why Lord Billy. I should have asked him to start from the beginning. I don't know.
Chester?
Tommy Hutton has returned.
Oh wow. Wow.
That is not related to this.
Oh wow.
Is that a Roy topic? Is Your Highness, does it please Your Highness that we talk about Tommy Hutton?
Yes, it does. Go
How
ahead.
is this segment going to end?
It's going to end right now.
This is your bedroom. This is your bedroom with Blue Chew. Blue Chew uses the same active ingredients as in Viagra or Cialis, but now comes in chewable form. Chewable means better, cheaper, and works faster than pills. No in-person doctor visit, no waiting in line, no more awkwardness. 100% online at BlueChew.com, where your first order is free. Just pay $5 shipping. Use promo code DAN at BlueChew.com and restart the party.
Dan Batard.
Roy, are you ready to give us a Panthers minute? They won last night.
Stugotz.
The Panthers lost in a shootout 2-1.
This is the Dan Batard show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
The next couple of months are going to be fun, right, Mike? We don't have anything to talk about. What the hell are we going to talk about? Like, we're going to just spend, we like this in June and July when it dissolves to nothing, when you've got like the Major League All-Star game where the sports media takes vacation. This is where we shine, as you saw in the King Roy segment.
This is going to be a really fun summer. The next couple of weeks, with all the LeBron rumors out there and all the NBA free agency, the NBA used to be the NFL, won its offseason and did a great job of having you talk NFL throughout the year. That's sort of gone away as the NBA has sort of taken that from them. You talk about the NBA year-round, and this offseason, especially the last two seasons essentially being foregone conclusions despite Houston's best efforts, this is going to be more exciting than anything that actually played out on the court.
But help me out here before it's happened, right? Because we haven't gotten into the free agent conversations yesterday, even though we started them kind of when the Cavs went down 3-0, and then it became LeBron watch. But let's say you're doing your own radio show in South Florida. What are you doing in June and July? What are you doing? Like, I'm asking you, the audience, everyone listening to me right now, I'm asking you, you have to go do a show for 4 hours a day, a sports radio show, and you've got to make it interesting to others. What the bleep are you talking about? I'm asking for genuine suggestion. Because outside of making fun of the Marlins, Guillermo, what the hell are we going to do? Like, are we going to have – it's not just that it's a slow sports time. It's also that our teams are stuck between purgatory and hell. Like, our teams aren't giving us anything interesting to talk about. The Dolphins don't have anyone you can name, and neither do the Marlins. And the Miami Heat have a bunch of contracts that are too long.
I imagine that the Miami Heat are probably going to be the main topic during the summer. Whether they get LeBron or not, it's a response to whatever happens. The NFL is going to have, the NBA is going to have quite the shakeup this offseason, so it's going to directly impact your team whether you get the guy or not.
Have you read anything outside of Stephen A. Smith putting Miami in the conversation, because he always does? Have you read anything credible that suggests something Pat Riley can do, even in speculation? Have you read any writers say this is how the Miami Heat can rebuild it from here? Because the only conjecture I've heard is people who are mildly credible saying LeBron's family really liked it in Miami. But how?
How is tough. It's hard to wrap yourself around him coming back here even without knowing all the machinations of exactly how this is going to happen. You have to have faith in the front office that they'll find a way. However, I've had faith in this front office to get rid of bad contracts for 2 years, and they haven't been able to do it.
I'm not sure I agree with your premise, and you know how big a fan I am of everybody in that front office. You don't have to have faith that it can get turned around. You can look at it, see the financial handcuffs at every turn, and when you don't hear anyone hypothesizing even creatively, the last time it happened for Miami that LeBron was here, some people thought it improbable. But at the time, if you recall, there were puzzle pieces that made it fit, and people explained to you how Miami could be an attractive destination. Here, all I'm hearing is Stephen A. Smith and a couple of others saying, well, he'd really like it in Miami, but nobody's saying how it can be put together. What are the specifics? What's the trade machine? You've got too many things that aren't worth enough to bring back that kind of value. So how does LeBron come here and take a meeting with Miami and say to Miami, this is what you have to do in order to get me here? What is that ask?
Well, you obviously have to trade the bad contracts, but how do you trade the bad contracts? You have to actually staple some good contracts to it. So the people that you would look on this roster and say, hey, that's an attractive piece. You know, Josh Richardson could be a really important role player on a team on a banana boat team, let's say, because he's young, he's an excellent defender, he could hit threes, he'd be hugely important. But Josh Richardson's probably going to need to be used as staple to some of these bad deals that you need to send off to clear way for some of the banana boat boys.
If you want to be encouraged by something, be encouraged by this. Whatever the Miami Heat's bad feelings were, and there were plenty when LeBron James left, awkward moments at Dwayne Wade's wedding, awkward moments seeing each other when the Cavs were playing here and the Cavs contingent was coming up to Miami Heat brass for awkwardness. The part that you should be encouraged by is that the relationship with Pat Riley and Maverick Carter is still good enough that if LeBron wants to be here, and that both sides can try to put in whatever machinations can be put in. I don't see what they are from here, but if LeBron James is working on something, that's the best argument you can make for it, and it doesn't seem to be a very good argument.
I mean, front offices matter, but look what he just did in Cleveland. He went back to Dan Gilbert. So everything that you say about, we present well. If you put Pat Riley in an office and you put Magic Johnson in the Lakers, I'll tell you something. From a national perspective, Kyle Kuzma has more value than Bam Adebayo. He just does. Lonzo Ball does. They're a bad team, and they've been bad for a little bit now, but it's a more attractive option. The only thing that you have really going for yourself is, hey, we're not in the Western Conference. Because even in the Eastern Conference, there are two other teams in Boston and Philadelphia that have a far more compelling situation.
But here's why I wouldn't say that that's all you have going for you, Mike, and I just don't know where LeBron is with this stuff right now. But he has given voice to this. The last time he did this and went back to Cleveland, he did it over the objections of his family. And this time he has said that his kids, their voices are older and those voices matter. I know those kids like Miami. I know those kids have friends in Miami. So there are lifestyle things here. The basketball things, it's hard to make an argument for. But the friendship to Dwayne Wade is easy to make an argument for. The idea that his family likes it here is something worth noting. The fact that the relationships have been repaired in a way that allows these people to feel like they can work together. And LeBron, in going back to Cleveland, has missed some of the structure that was here that he didn't get with the power he had there. All of those things are intangible variables. I just don't think they form a very good argument. I think if you tell me Kuzma, I have to fold. I have to fold that argument if you just tell me, oh, the Lakers have better young players.
Well, from a lifestyle perspective, I think Dwayne Wade was the one that really made that news in the national conversation. He joined Karan Butler on Fox Sports Radio. And people seem to overlook the fact that it was coming from Dwayne Wade, who seems to be, from what I'm able to tell from his public comments, it seems to be, I'll come back if the Banana Boat crew comes to Miami because I'm just playing for Miami. So the fact that he hasn't retired and we don't really have any clarity on what Dwayne Wade's future is, it gives me some hope that, hey, maybe there's something. Dwayne Wade got shipped off from Cleveland. What kind of conversations were going on there?
What is the percentage? First of all, Miami would get excited about this. But as you hear us talk about it, to me, even in the best case scenarios, you're talking about a 3 or 4% chance. Even if it's like if you go best case, because I keep coming back to how everyone else can do it, but it's not just absorbing LeBron's contract. You'd have to absorb LeBron's contract. LeBron is building. He's not coming by himself. He never does that. When he was leaving for Cleveland again, he's the one texting Pau Gasol saying, "Don't go to Miami." Like, he's not going to recuse himself from this. He and Maverick Carter and that whole crew. I don't know whether that guy's name is Mills or Mim. They're 4 of them. They're going to build a fantasy roster. I got to think they're going to enjoy, and I just don't see how he can do that for them.
Shane Battier being in those meetings can't hurt. Doesn't add any stars to us, but I feel like he had a good relationship with LeBron.
I'm glad you mentioned that because as a Heat fan, I know that we're in single-digit probability here, and I'm just reaching for whatever I can, whatever signs, and Dwayne Wade not retiring and Shane Battier not leaving to go back to his home in Detroit. I'm just holding on to whatever I can.
Okay, and so this is what I would say to you, because it's hard to make the basketball argument. The way that you make the argument is LeBron's legacy is largely secure. He just managed to lose in the finals, and everybody's reaction was, yeah, that wasn't fair. Like, everyone's reaction is, you're playing great, but you lost game 1 because one of your guys couldn't make a free throw and the other guy couldn't remember the score. And you went 51-8-8, but LeBron got it almost as much from losing this time as he has from winning other times. He's secure. Do you keep going after Durant in the West, or do you choose lifestyle? Do you choose sunshine? Do you choose that your kids want to be here? To me, the family, to him being late in life and the family is almost the only way to make the argument that he wants to hang out with Dwayne some more, that he wants to have, that he misses the Miami beach and he misses the Miami clubs.
It certainly helps that Dwayne is putting his voice to this publicly, too. It makes me feel a little bit better. But we talked about this last week. LeBron has the knowledge of saying, look, I did it anywhere. Cleveland had the number 1 overall draft pick when I decided to go there. Yeah, they had some young assets to trade for other players, and who knows what Miami has. If the Kawhi thing could change everything. The assets aren't quite what the Lakers have, and the Lakers not only have some assets, but they also have about $60 million in cap space. Meanwhile, $19 million is about to trigger on Tyler Johnson's contract.
This is the part, though, that punches you in the face. It's hard to overcome what I'm about to say. And it makes the offseason so very clearly about one player. If Miami were to somehow miraculously put together a package of stuff that brings you back Kawhi Leonard, it ain't enough in any way, given that Durant keeps opting back in, because LeBron's not really enough. LeBron just gives you the hope of getting to the finals. You now know that team is so good that LeBron is the only one who brings you hope, and it doesn't look anything or feel anything like hope. Like, you could say to yourself, Kawhi Leonard would be great to build around, but Kawhi Leonard's not LeBron. Simply not him.
Oh, but I think that's the way that you go out at this Golden State team. You go at them with the greatest defensive unit that you could ever assemble.
Mike, but I
know LeBron's not there yet, but I think he can be.
I know, but Mike, honest to God, given what you've seen from Golden State, I'm dead serious about this. given that Kyrie and LeBron were going crazy in the finals before this and they lost in 5 games. Think about what I'm about to say. Are you sure that Kawhi and LeBron is even enough? The two of them, are you sure? Because I'm not. Never mind getting one of them. I'm not sure both of them is enough against that team.
All right, how about Kawhi, LeBron, and Paul George? Getting warmer? Getting warmer? Wow. Because that's length.
Yes.
That's shooting.
In the game.
And that's something, there's Miami ties. You know, Paul George has been known to hang out here, right? He's been known to hang out here. They can make it happen. Obviously, you got to give up some of your young guys. He who shall not be named. That's sort of what's complicating all of this. Because who's going to take he who shall not be named? Wait a second. I know. After the Lakers miss out on Kawhi, after the Lakers miss out on Paul George, after the Lakers miss out on LeBron, they have all this space. We need something to show for it. So, suckers, guess what? You're getting he who shall not be named. Traded into space. That's addressed. Okay, so now we have Paul George, we have LeBron James, we have Kawhi Leonard, we have Dwayne Wade. Goran Dragic has obviously been traded over to Phoenix. That's happening this week or next week.
Who did San Antonio get?
San Antonio's probably got Bam. Okay. San Antonio's probably got Josh Richardson because he's Kawhi Light. Man, what a good soul. Yeah, he's Kawhi Light. He's Kawhi Light beer. And you have probably Justice Winslow and a couple picks going that way, right? Yeah. Does the money even match up? Do we need to send somebody else there?
Who cares? We'll figure that out.
Who says? Udonis is your center, probably, which he's going to be great.
Yeah.
He's just been biding time, waiting to play. You're not going to. He only has so many. You know, Udonis has a couple big shots left in him. Yeah, why was he going to burn those shots up with this team? He was saving it for LeBron's return. So we got Dwayne Wade. We got Chris Paul, obviously, on a discount. He's running point, and plus, you don't have to worry about, who's your starting point guard. Is it Goran Dragic or is it Chris Paul? That could be awkward. Goran Dragic has gone to Phoenix, and I'm pretty sure we got back Devin Booker in that trade.
Melo
so we have Melo. You're going to get Melo on a discount. Absolutely, maybe 10-day contract for Melo. He's got to prove himself.
A couple of those.
So you have Chris Paul. Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Devin Booker, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Udonis Haslem as your center. Okay, you have Udonis Haslem as your center.
Wow.
You have Chris Paul,
Dwayne
Wade, Carmelo Anthony on a 10-day contract. You have Devin Booker.
Why are you doing this again?
I'm saying it slower. You have Devin Booker coming back in that totally fair deal with Phoenix.
Has Durant officially opted in yet?
We could possibly have Durant. I was trying to get to that. We could probably have Kevin Durant.
Say it in reverse.
You
broke down. I'm sorry, keep going.
Okay.
Cousins?
Boogie Cousins, you know what? He might want to get a prove-it deal because he's coming off of that terrible Achilles injury. New Orleans is going to offer him a max contract. Why would he take the security of a max contract sight unseen when he can come over here on the cheap and prove himself and really raise his value?
No better place
than Miami. He likes a beach. I think didn't we see Boogie Cousins around here one time 4 years ago?
Sure.
I don't know. Here, you have the benefit of knowing everyone loves Miami. No one has a bad thing to say about it. So you have Boogie Cousins backing up Udonis Haslem because we know Udonis is ready to play. We're not quite sure about Boogie Cousins. All right, so now you have a couple of other roster spots, and here's what I'm thinking. Mario Chalmers hasn't played in a couple years, working out with Dwayne Wade, clearly saving himself for a big run. And you know what? Now that I'm actually speaking this into existence and I'm talking it out, everything's sort of making sense why Mario Chalmers hasn't been with a team.
He's just waiting.
And why is Norris Cole over in China? Guess what? Just buying time. Just buying time to come back. So you got Norris Cole and Mario Chalmers. Everyone loved that backcourt. Nobody had a bad thing to say.
Ray Allen is still in Miami?
Ray Allen is still in playing shape. He never left. He's jogging around Coral Gables somewhere telling everybody on Instagram, by the way, Ray Allen, I know you're in shape. You don't need to you don't need to rub
But why is he in shape? What do you mean? You know what he's getting ready for?
People just like being healthy.
All these guys. Did you see the shape that Udonis Haslem's in? He's incredible.
How about the shape that Battier and Mourning are in?
That's why Battier stayed! Tippy toes. Mike Miller. No, he can't come back because we amnestied him. Man.
What about Birdman?
He's in a suit! Pick him up!
I'm flapping my wings!